Hello, this is Brett Theisen, Vice President of Business Development with Mattersight, and I'd like to thank you for attending today's webinar on predictive behavior routing. Well, let's get started on what is predictive behavior routing. The concept of what we do is very simple. What we're going to do is we're going to classify the caller or your customer's behavior characteristics. In other words, what's their personality and how do they want to be communicated to? Then what we do is we analyze the agent on how they deal with the different personality styles. Then what we're going to do is take advantage of the natural pairing and connect the caller to the agent who best handles their particular personality style. No different if you or I sit down at a dinner table with a group of people we've never met before. There's going to be certain people where it's easy for you to communicate with and others where that conversation is a little more difficult. The same holds true in your contact center. Your agents naturally pair with certain customers better than others. And what we do is we take advantage of that natural pairing. So let's look at an example of one of our clients. Please note that this is actual data from one of our clients, and the metric that they cared about is average talk time. Please remember, you can route based on whatever metric means the most for your organization. So let's look at one of the agents. So Pat's one of the agents in the call center, and Pat averages 507 seconds. However, not all callers communicate in the same way. There's different personality styles. So if we take a look, remember Pat averaged 507 seconds, but not all callers communicate in the same way. And you can see Pat has strengths and weaknesses at handling the different personality styles, and you can see this variance. So Pat's very good at an emotions-based call. It actually goes down to 368 seconds for average talk time. But if you go one above and see thoughts, Pat struggles, and that average talk time goes up to 654 seconds. What our application does is it says, all right, Pat is naturally best at dealing with emotions-based callers. I'm going to give Pat as many emotions-based callers as I can, and as little as possible, I'd give Pat a thoughts-based caller. The next step we do in the process is we create a scorecard for all the agents. And what you're going to see is Pat's not alone. All the agents have variance in how they deal with the different personality styles. So we talked a little bit about Pat on the previous slide, so let's focus this time on Haley, who's the second performing agent. So Haley averages 399 seconds, you'll see on the far right. But you can see she's got tremendous variance. On an opinions-based call, her talk time goes down to 275 seconds, so well below average. However, with emotions, she struggles, and that goes all the way up to 615 seconds. So like Pat and all the other agents, Haley has variance. So what we're going to do is we are going to get Haley the callers that she's best at most naturally working with. So let's talk about how predictive behavior routing actually works and would integrate into your current ACD system. The way the application works is the call is going to come into your ACD as it does today. Once the ACD determines the skill group, there's a simple script that gets written between the ACD and Mattersight's predictive behavior routing. Essentially what happens is it passes us the phone number, we look into our database, determine the personality of that particular caller, look at the agents who are currently available who can take that call, and then we send a list back to that ACD of the best agent who's available to take that particular personality style. Then the ACD routes that call to the best agent as it does today. What's important to note is we never take over actual call control, so we have a very minimal impact on workforce management and the current ACD reporting. So let's talk about the benefits of routing. So you can route based on any metric that means the most for your organization. So we have an HMO company who uses us to decrease operational cost. We're actually able to do a 17% decrease in their operational cost. Next is a pharmaceutical company who looked at us to increase sales. And we actually were able to increase sales by 14%. And in a retail company, when a call came in, we cared about routing that call to the agent who's got the best retention rate for that personality. And we saw a 14% lift in retention rate by using predictive behavior routing. And the final one we looked at was for a retail bank who used this for outbound collections. We were able to see a 6% lift in outbound collections for a retail bank organization. So as you can see, predictive behavior routing can be used in a variety of applications, both inbound and outbound within your organization. Let's talk about a couple of the other benefits of predictive behavior routing. One of the great things about it is it drives immediate and compelling results. Literally the day we put in the application, you're going to see the results of this natural pairing. It integrates into all the leading telephony and routing systems in the marketplace today. And what's great is we actually leverage your existing employees, and there's no need to change or train additional employees. The final thing we've seen is employee satisfaction tends to go up, because at the end of the day, the agents are working with callers or clients who they naturally pair with the best. What we want to talk today about is an impact analysis, and this is something that everyone can take advantage of. What we do is we can run an impact analysis, and all the data I showed you on previously in this deck, we can do for your organization at no cost. It's easy to get started. If you provide us a flat file, we don't need the call recordings themselves, that includes the caller ID, the agent ID, the call time, and then the metric that we're measuring. What we can do is we can analyze your data and do a routing simulation. We can show you the personality, how your agents deal with the different personalities, and then we can run a call simulation and quantify the results that we would see in your organization. We would compare how calls are routing today in your environment versus how calls would route if we implemented predictive behavior routing. What you'll essentially get to see is what is the savings you saw per call and what that improvement is. So once again, with whatever metric we're measuring, we're going to be able to run a simulator to show what would happen with your organization and what type of variance your agents have in dealing with the different personality styles. So if you're interested in getting started, it's fairly easy to do. What you can do is you can contact us in two different ways. Feel free to call our number at 312-454-3585, or you can email us at info@mattersight.com.